Good morning, everyone. It's so early, but look at all these amazing people who wake up. Yay! So I'm going to be hypnotizing everybody, and it's going to be awesome, and I am going to put you up on somebody's lovely stand because I didn't bring one. Thank you so much. Okay, cool.
This way?
Yeah.
Okay, let's see.
Okay, so I would just talk for a few minutes about how I got into this, a little bit more about how hypnosis works, but very briefly because the fun part is the session itself, and you can find out everything you want to know about my history and really a ton about hypnosis on my website, which is gracesmithtv.com. But I'll give you like a 3 to 5 minute rundown, and then we'll do a session together. Just so I know, are there any other hypnotherapists in the room?
I use it.
So meaning you have regular sessions?
I'm not a hypnotherapist, but I use various different kinds of techniques.
Wonderful.
So it's part of it. Yeah.
Okay, very, very good. Yeah, and that's the wonderful thing about hypnosis. It's complementary to so much. I mean, really to everything. Everything wellness related. You can add this to the mix and it will just compound the benefits. So I work with acupuncturists and yoga instructors and biofeedback clients, and this just kind of makes everything go a little bit deeper. So I am Grace Smith. I did not set out to be a hypnotist. When I was a little girl, I did not want to grow up to be a hypnotist. I didn't know that that was an option, and if I had, I probably still wouldn't have found it very interesting. But that's because I didn't know what it actually was. We are raised in a culture to believe that what we're all gonna do here today is like Office Space, right? Who's seen Office Space? Yeah, or Shallow Hal. There's cultural references in movies that make it seem either silly or scary, and it's neither of those things. It's very, very profound. So what happened to me, I left a little bit of this out in the keynote because it was already amazing enough that they were having a hypnotist co-host. I was so happy. But 5 years ago, I got sober. So I was at the lowest point of my life. I had an amazing career in corporate America, but I didn't have any coping mechanisms for stress. And when I first graduated from college, it was 2008, and I went to work for a corporate fundraising firm. And my first client, our goal was to raise $250 million. In 2008 was when everybody was losing their jobs.
Right.
So nobody was taking out their wallet. And basically, I was kind of put out into the world, now with all this, college debt, with a job that every morning I woke up with a knot in my stomach because my job was on the chopping block if I didn't hit my benchmarks. And it felt just terrible every day. Every day was terrible, and it was kind of a moral issue because I didn't really believe in the client. And it was a moral issue because people were terrified and I was asking them for money. And it was a good cause, but, so anyway, needless to say, there was a ton of stress that I was feeling. And the way I dealt with that was with drugs and alcohol. And it just kept going and going and going. And stress is a thing. It's a real thing that we experience, but it also becomes a habit. Bless you. Oh, it's a cough. It's okay. Bless you anyway.
Sorry.
I thought I was gonna be on time with that one. So it's not just so for example, like if you're standing in line at the grocery store and you don't have the most important meeting of your life happening 10 minutes later, there is no normal reason that a human being would be extremely annoyed that the person putting the groceries in a bag was doing it slowly. That's not something that is natural for us to be angry about. It's because of compounded stress. And so our reactions become unnatural. It's just cumulative stress with people all around us. It's a global cultural thing that is happening. And so same with drinking and drugging, really. It starts off as something that I have an addictive personality, and so it wasn't in my best interest, but then you just start doing it. Now you're doing it more. Now you have friends that go to bars. Now you have the friends who invite you to the parties. Now you're friends with all the bartenders. Now this is your routine. And it becomes very scary for us to imagine ourselves in a different routine, even if it's a better routine. We are so programmed to be habitual, that sometimes the idea of improving our lives is more terrifying than just sticking with the terrible thing we've got. So it finally got bad enough, and I'm so grateful for this, that at a really young age I got sober. And I think that humbles you. So what happened, is a really long story, but I tell it on Zero Moderation a lot, which is a Periscope channel that Ryan Bell created for people in recovery. And it's awesome because you just tune in from your living room all over the world, and there's this global community of people who care about this. But to make a very long story short, I found myself in a setting where I'm looking at someone on stage telling their story about their sobriety, and I'm hysterical in the back of the room, so they know, like, there's a new one, you know what I mean? Let's go help her. And these lovely people come over to me, and they're like, are you okay? And I was like, well, I stopped drinking today, and I stopped doing drugs today, and I stopped smoking cigarettes today. And they're like, no, you didn't, girl. And they walked me across the street, and they bought me 2 packs of cigarettes, and they said, go home and smoke these and come back tomorrow at noon. And they saved my life. It would have been too much all at once, and they knew that. So for 6 months after getting sober, I probably smoked more cigarettes than I ever had. But at that point, I was ready to stop. I didn't need them anymore. I was starting to feel comfortable in my sobriety, and I wanted to quit smoking. And nothing worked. The patches didn't work. The gum didn't work. All the things I thought would work didn't work. And someone said, why don't you check out hypnotherapy? And at that point, I was so humbled by all the mess I had created in my own life, I was willing to try anything. Let me tell you, I was really skeptical. I mean, just like anybody else who walks through my office door, maybe not so much anymore, but when I first started, definitely, I was like, is this gonna scam me? Am I gonna collect like a chicken? Is it safe? Am I gonna be blacked out in a room with a man because he was a male hypnotherapist? All these things, and he was so kind, and obviously he got this a lot because I came in all kind of like, and he was just like, just sit down, just close your eyes. And this isn't typical, but after one session, I never craved a cigarette again. And I had been smoking like a chimney, like it was my lifeline. And I got so pissed off, which was very common for me back then. And I just said, why isn't this mainstream? Why are people developing emphysema? Why is lung cancer still an issue? Why is this considered bizarre and niche when it's the most relaxing, safe, comfortable, normal feeling thing I've ever done? It felt like I was in a deep state of meditation, like deeper than I was ever able to reach alone, having a conversation with a person, but I could have opened my eyes at any time. So I started doing some research, and I'll just give you 2 of my favorite facts, but you could fill a book. In fact, I am. But these are my 2 favorites. So there was a study done with chemotherapy patients, women with breast cancer. Not only during the time of the chemotherapy treatments were nausea and pain drastically reduced in the women who had the hypnotherapy, but in a 10-year follow-up, the women who had had the hypnotherapy had a 2x survival ratio. Like 2 times more people survived than the control group who didn't go through hypnotherapy at the time. And in another study, people who had broken their bones but had hypnotherapy showed 8 weeks worth of repair in their bones when they'd only had 6.5 weeks of time. So their bones were healing faster than the control group. I'll give you one more quick example. So when I first started my business, I launched a living social campaign. It did extremely well, better than I would have thought. It sold 924 vouchers in 24 hours. So my first year in business, I worked with 1,000 private clients, one-on-one.
So what was that?
Living social. But the reason for that was my job at the time was I worked for Bloomspot here in San Francisco, which was a high-end version of Groupon. So I was curating those deals for 2 years in my own space. I didn't know it would do this well, but I knew something. I mean, no other hypnotherapist has ever had any experience like that. Normally you sell 100 of them over 7 days. I sold 924 in 24 hours. But I took that as a message because I was starting to believe in messages that I'm in the right place is what I'm supposed to be doing, and I basically got a PhD. And because no one's really knocking down the door of hypnotherapy offices, you could be in business 30 years and never work with 1,000 clients. So very quickly I became an expert, one of the most experienced hypnotherapists on the planet. And so my goal is just to make this mainstream. But the most profound moment I had was when I met a man. He was a UN peacekeeping ambassador in Syria, and he had had a stroke. He had lost the use of the left side of his body. And I was asked by his son to go see him in the hospital at Rusk Institute. I was a brand new hypnotherapist. And I just went there to elevate his mood, which is something we're all going to do today. You know, like that, we're going to do more than that, but that's one of the great benefits. And, you know, I see this broken man lying there who had lost his identity. He was a warrior. I mean, you don't get to go to Syria as a UN peacekeeping ambassador unless you have really like a decorated history in the military. He was from Brazil. So there was this broken man, lost his identity, and halfway through this session I kind of went off script and I just said, imagine two neurons in your brain firing. There's a spark, and that spark travels all the way down the left-hand side of your body, down your neck, down through your shoulders, all the way down the left side of your left arm, and all the way through your finger, and I hadn't even finished the word and he was doing this. He hadn't moved the left side of his body in 3 months. So I started crying, and he started crying, and the nurse was crying, and the doctors were crying, and his wife was crying, and he opened his eyes and he goes, what do I do? And I said, keep moving your finger, you know what I mean? Like, just keep doing it. And by the end of that day, I mean, he was going like this. But more than that, I mean, that's not much, but it's a lot when you haven't done anything. The hope had returned to his entire body and his face. And the best part is he's now my father-in-law. That was the first time I ever met my father-in-law.
Oh my God.
When I was just dating his son for a month. So I walked home that day. I still had my corporate job that day. And that's when I said, bye. This needs to be what every person in the world turns to first. And all it is the power of the mind. And that most people try to make change when they're stressed out, cumulative stress, or when they're angry with themselves. But we are literally in a fight, flight, or freeze. You know, that's how we're reacting when we feel that cortisol pumping through our body, that stress hormone. If you want to make lasting change, you have to feel safe. It's the only time you can make change. And that's the only reason why hypnosis works, because it puts you in a deep state of relaxation quickly, where you feel completely safe, and because of that, you become open to suggestion. That's why it works. That's all it is. And, you know, I've had a lot of people ask me, why do you call it hypnosis when that freaks people out? Why don't you just call it the grace method or call it meditation or whatever? But I really, truly think that I was lucky enough to be handed something where there's almost no competition. Almost every other hypnotherapist on the planet is a 65-year-old man, you know? And meditation, I'd be trying to get my word out up against, you know, Deepak Chopra, Eckhart Tolle, and like, you know, Huffington Post. And so I've been given the opportunity to make a living doing something so profound and wonderful. And all I need to do is help people see this thing that you thought was about a stage show in Vegas can actually be the most powerful way for you to change your life. And if I can get that message out clearly, I really think the world would be a better place. So I'm enlisting you all as advocates. And that's what we're going to do today. So, you know, this originally was about feeling more confident to press the button to scope. But really it can be about public speaking. It's really about having the confidence to share your message, because the world needs to hear it. And I used to have debilitating stage fright. You couldn't have paid me enough money even for this, let alone what I did the other day. And I do think I helped some people as a result, and they wouldn't have been helped without it. So that's what today's theme was going to be. But since I kind of did it in the opening talk, we can really make this about anything you guys collectively want. So I just wanted to ask you, is that what you want? We can work on boosting confidence to share your message? Are there any other burning desires? Because when I've done this before in the past, if someone does have a burning desire, it's pretty interesting. Almost everybody else is like, yep, that's it. It's just kind of the collective of who shows up are in line, are in tune. So any thoughts on that?
Trust is part of, trust that you're on your path and that sharing your message is what you're supposed to be doing. And
Cool. Does that resonate with everybody?
For me, it's also self-confidence in business development.
So tell me a little bit, if you feel comfortable. If you don't worry
Sure.
about it. We can talk offline. How that shows up for you? Like, what happened as a result of the lack of confidence? Because I'm sure we can we all have experienced this.
I'm not making the break from the company where I am, which I should.
There you go. So staying in a place where you know it's not right for you to be because it's comfortable.
It's not comfortable at all. It's very alienating, but it provides the regular paycheck, and I have a family to support, and I need to be, for 20 years I did my own thing. Then I went to work with somebody else. It got really bad, but I stayed because of the paycheck. So the confidence to fully develop what I already know that I can do, because I did it for 20 years, my own business, and make that transition without harming my family by not having the income.
Okay. Yeah, when security issues come into mind, even if they're not rational, if the subconscious mind believes there's danger, we're not going to be able to move forward, or we sabotage ourselves. So we have to be able to have a conversation with our subconscious. Normally this talk is like 90 minutes that I do, so I just, but like if you think of, have you ever seen the Freudian iceberg? Or just think of an iceberg. The conscious mind is the part that's above the ocean, and the subconscious mind is what's underneath the ocean, and that's what sunk the Titanic. That's where your emotions are stored. That's where your habits are stored. That's where your beliefs about yourself are stored. So that's why we could read a book, which is a conscious mind activity, and love it, and nothing changes. Because our habits and emotions and beliefs are stored under here. So if the part of your subconscious that wants to provide for your family, which is a huge part, is saying, danger, 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 there's going to be takedown after takedown, or block after block. Good morning. And so we have to have a conversation. So what do you guys think if we make this a little bit more of both increasing confidence, but also discovery as to what's the next right step for you to take in your business or your life?
Great.
Okay. Because one of the greatest gifts of hypnosis is clarity. How are we on time? Just out of curiosity.
It's 7:27. But
So we're going to go to 7:40. Yeah. Because they're going to start late. Yeah. Everybody's going to start late. So briefly, one more thing to keep in mind. When you're in hypnosis, you're in a theta brainwave state, which is what children under the age of 7 are always in. Their brains haven't developed enough to get to alpha and beta. Beta is our normal waking consciousness. Alpha would be like a light daydream. Theta is meditation, deep meditation. But if you think of children under the age of 7, what are some of their other characteristics? There's little sponges, right? They learn everything instantly. It's like they hear something, that's a part of their little personality. But they also have no inhibition. When their favorite song comes on in the grocery store, they're boogieing down. Or when they're hungry or they're tired or they're sad, they are in hysterics in a very public place and they're okay with it, right? A 12-year-old wouldn't be caught dead doing that because they've already developed beta, which in many ways goes along with ego and self-consciousness. So one of the coolest things about hypnosis is you get back down to that theta brainwave state where you don't have any inhibition. So you're not thinking in your mind like, oh, that's dumb, or oh, my mom said that about me. You're just open. So I could have someone come in to me and tell me their story for an hour and say, I just don't know what to do. And we get into hypnosis, and in 2 minutes they're like, I know exactly what to do. And it's the perfect thing to do. So we actually don't even need to spend a lot of time reminding ourselves of our story. We just need to get to the answer. So my intention for all of you today is to get an answer. What's the next best step for you to take in your life or your business or your relationship? Whatever is most pressing, pick one. You've got it on catch, so you can come back and do it again later and choose something else. But hypnosis is most powerful when we zero in. And then after that, we're going to do increased confidence, and you're going to relate it to that answer. Does that make sense? So keep it, as vague as you want. Let's just go down the line and say whether it's like, health, business, relationship, what you're going to make your next step about.
In our specific field?
Like, so when I say you're going to know exactly the right next step for you to take in the most important pressing part of your life where you feel confusion. But I won't say feel confusion because I don't want you to feel confusion. So whatever part of your life right now needs the most help, what is that?
My business.
Perfect.
Just my general life.
Perfect.
Business. Career.
Good morning. Hi. So perfect. We're gonna dive into the hypnosis part now. If you want to pop that on a chair so you're comfy, whatever works for you.
Okay.
You're good. Okay. And if you could also let me know time. Awesome. Let me know when there's like 3 minutes left.
Okay.
So what we'll do at the end is we won't do too much more talking at the end. I'll bring you up out of the hypnosis, and I'll give you what we call post-hypnotic suggestions. And then I'll just ask you all your number. So we're going to start with the number. 0 is 0 stress, no stress at all, the most relaxed a person can possibly be. And 10 is a full-blown panic attack. And I don't want you to just think about how you feel right now at 7 o'clock in the morning at a conference, but how you feel when you think about your business or your life, the most pressing area of your life. See, like when I just thought about it, I went from like a 3 to a 6, just thinking about the area of my life I want to improve. What number are you on when you think about the area you want to improve? And you can actually just say it out loud. Let's go down the line.
7.5.
There you go.
Yeah, 8, 9,
Yeah, 5. Yeah.
7,
6,
3.
What's 3?
5.
6.
Great. And the one who does hypnosis on the regs is at a 3. Good. Okay, everybody, go ahead and close your eyes. Take a nice, deep, letting go breath. Already beginning to relax both mind and body. Relax the top of your head. Relax your forehead, smoothing out any creases. Relax your jaw, letting it hang loose and slack. Relax your shoulders. Relax your arms all the way through to the fingertips. Relax your torso, breathing easily. And relax your legs all the way out through the bottoms of the feet. Really good. Taking another nice, deep, letting go breath. Repeating in your mind or out loud, whatever feels most powerful. After me, I am safe. I am calm. I choose to be here. I am safe. I am calm. I choose to be here. I am safe. I am calm. I choose to be here. Another nice, deep, letting go breath. In just a moment, I'll begin to count down. And with each and every single decreasing number that I say, you'll find that you easily and effortlessly double your relaxation. It's as if with each and every single decreasing number that I say, you're taking a step down on a staircase. And at the bottom of the staircase is the most wonderful, beautiful, safe place waiting for you there. Taking the first step down now. 10. The deeper you go, the better you feel. 9. The better you feel, the deeper you go. 8. As you continue to go deeper and deeper, all sounds other than my voice just fade into the background, relaxing you, releasing you, taking you all the way down. The sound of other people's voices, the sound of periscopes, the sound of traffic, They just fade into the background, letting you know all is well in the outside world as you go deeper and deeper. 7. Keep going, you're doing very well. 6. Relaxing every single muscle in your body. 5. You're almost there now. 4. 3. Doubling your relaxation. 2. And 1. Be there now in your safe place. Notice some details about your safe place. Notice the sounds of your safe place. Taking a number of nice deep inhalations, breathe in the pleasant smells, the pleasant sense of your safe place. Looking around you, notice the colors of your safe place and make them twice as bold, twice as bright, twice as vibrant. And put a smile on your lips once you've done that. Very, very good. Go ahead and reach out and touch something there, feeling its texture or its weight. And if there's a healthy something to taste, maybe it's a sip of water, whatever it is, you can taste that now. When I count down from 3 to 1, 2 wonderful beings are going to join you there. They're going to be little you. You at the age of about 5, give or take a year or 2, and you, 10 years older than you are today, are going to join you there. And 3, going even deeper. 2, trusting the images, impressions, and sensations that come. And 1, they join you there now. Notice your reaction to them. You might want to run up and hug them and say hello, or shake their hand, or give them a high five, or one of them might be hiding or shy. Whatever happens is correct. Just observe. And we're going to ask them a question. First, little you, and then older you. Go ahead and repeat in your mind or out loud after me. First to little you. You're going to say, little me, I'm concerned about this area of my life. You'll tell them what it is. And ask them, what's the next best step for me to take? Go ahead and do that now. And when you've received their answer, give me a thumbs up. Good. Really good. And thank them. And now turn to you who's 10 years older than you are today and ask them the same thing. Say, as you know, I'm really concerned about this area of my life. What's the next best step for me to take? Receive their answer. And once you've received their answer, give me a thumbs up. Excellent, excellent. Now you're going to notice they've built you a beautiful, safe bonfire. You're going to throw in all your fears into that bonfire. If fears that have been holding you back, the fears that you voluntarily absorbed, and also the fears that were conditioned into you by culture and society. All three of you are going to throw your fears into that fire. You're going to watch them burn up. As they do, they leave you. They leave your mind. They leave your body. They leave your life. Getting ready to throw them into the bonfire in 3, 2, 1. Start throwing them in there. And as they burn up and crackle and sizzle and incinerate and disintegrate, you feel yourself becoming lighter. You physically feel yourself becoming relieved. And it is from this place that you can most authentically share yourself with the world, if you choose to do so. It's from this place that you can most authentically hit that red button on Periscope, if you choose to do so. It's from that place where you can most authentically get up on a stage and share yourself, but it's also from this place where you can most authentically live your best life. So now the three of you are going to look at a beautiful screen, like a movie screen. And this is the screen of all of your dreams coming true, based on this one thing. That if your confidence in this one area were to increase 10 times, 20 times, 100 times, what your life would look like, feel like, be like. So start looking at that screen now. I want you to feel like a thermometer, your confidence rising. With every breath you take, your confidence is rising. And the three of you are watching that screen, and it's as if you can see yourself transforming on the screen. All of your dreams coming true in that one particular area as your confidence continues to rise like a thermometer, 1 degree higher now. 1 degree higher now. 1 degree higher now. How do you hold yourself on that screen? What is your posture like? How do you speak that person you see on the screen? What actions do you take? How do you think about yourself? What is your self-talk like? That person on the screen. Now that person on the screen steps out from the screen, gives you a group huddle, a group hug, and turns to you all and says, "This is who we really are. This is who we were born to be. Let's claim our birthright now." And all of you begin to merge into one beautiful being. One beautiful, confident being. One beautiful being whose self-talk is supportive, whose actions are in alignment with your life goals and your purpose, whose confidence continues to rise 1 degree higher, another degree higher now, 1 more degree higher, and repeat in your mind after me, "This is who I am. This is my birthright. I deserve to be confident. I love myself exactly as I am. I love myself exactly as I am. I love myself exactly as I am. can do this. I'm already doing it. Take another nice, deep, letting go breath. Sealing it in whatever way feels right for you. It could be jumping up and down. It could be saying yes. It could be running around in that safe place. It could be taking an action in your mind. Seal it in the most perfect way that's right for you. And in just a moment, I'll begin to count back up from 1 to 5. Not before, but when I reach the number 5, you'll open your eyes, feeling better than you felt in a really, really long time. Perhaps feeling better than you've ever felt. Certainly feeling extremely confident. And this confidence continues to grow day by day. 1, starting to come back now, moving your feet and your toes. 2, moving your hands and your fingers, lots of energy returning to the body. 3, coming back to this place, this day, this time, this space. 4, getting ready to open those eyes. 5, opening the eyes, arms over the top of the head, and the word is yes. Yes. Good, and a round of applause for all of you. Who had tears? Very common. Who felt tingles as your confidence began to increase? I did, as you all were experiencing that. And the most beautiful part that I love so much is I can see the physical transformation in all of you as it's taking place. That as the thermometer was rising, it's like, you're all very relaxed, so it's kind of like this. And then with every increasing degree, it's like, and the thing, when there was the most amount of facial expression change was noticing what your self-talk is like when you're the person on the screen who's now you. Keep that in mind. I love myself exactly as I am. I'm doing great. I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be. I believe in myself. These are the things that get us to reach our goals. I'm so happy you were here this morning. Thank you so much. I'm so honored you got up this early. I'm so honored you were here. And I know that you're going to be able to take that next right step. You already have by being here. But I encourage you, if possible, whatever it was, if it's that actionable, take it today if you can. If not, do it soon. It's going to feel really good. All right, guys? So I would take the next 5-10 minutes to just kind of be in your own world without chatting. Kind of keep it sacred. You don't need to share too much. And that's it. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yeah. If you want to find out more about me, it's just gracesmithtv.com. All right? Have an amazing final day at the conference.
Thank you.
Thank you. And thank you. Thanks everybody who was watching. Thanks guys. Here you go. Thank you. Wow. What? For 100 people?
Yeah, for the majority.
Oh my gosh. Oh, it's later in New York. Guys, I love you. Oh, look at all these hearts. So this was actually like 110 of us all here this morning. Oh, guys. I love you. Wow. I should have put on more makeup. Oh, hey, Stephanie. Oh, cool. I'm going to hang and chill with you guys for a bit. Hey, Genevieve. No worries. Aw, guys. This is so magical. Virtual hugs. This is so cool. What a neat surprise to see you all here. Oh, thank you. Okay, loves. Yeah. Well, since we're all hanging out here together, if anybody has any questions, I'm here.
Do you do any other, do you do Reiki or any other things like that?
Yeah, I'm certified in Reiki. Yeah, I love it. Again, complimentary. Actually, my entire practice is over the phone now because I move so much. And I actually found that, so a really interesting thing, you know, hypnosis works because you're relaxed and feeling safe, right? And when I had a practice in Union Square in New York City, not only was I paying out the wazoo for that rent, but people were showing up late because it's New York City, and also really crazed. And so it would take quite a bit of time to relax. And then we would have the session and they go straight back out into that crazy world. And hypnosis is very powerful when you compound it and you do it, you know, once a week, as opposed to giving it a lot of time, because you're really rewiring your brain and you want to give it a chance to create a new foundation rather than the old stuff coming back. So a lot of times my clients would be traveling for work, or they'd get a cold and they'd say, I don't want to miss my week, so can we do it over the phone or on Skype? And I'd say, sure. And they would be home for an hour beforehand, chilling, and after the session, they'd take a bubble bath. Or you know, my insomniac clients I would put to sleep. And if you do that 2 to 3 nights in a row and have a great night's sleep, the insomnia is gone. So I said, this is just as powerful as in person, if not more, because actually the relaxation state lasts longer. And certainly it's less expensive for me than having an office in Union Square. And it's more convenient, and it allowed me to have a global practice. So even though I'm based in Los Angeles, my clients are, you know, from all over the world. So to answer your question, my Reiki, I don't do the same Reiki that I used to, which was very much in the session. I'd be doing it. Now it's more intentional and kind of distant Reiki.
Right.
Yeah.
Which is still good.
Which is still great. Yeah. Yeah. Anything else?
I have a question.
Yeah.
I haven't really articulated it, but
Yeah.
it's like floating around. Is
Yeah.
that when, so you mentioned the tears, right?
Yeah.
So like when we were in our safe place,
Yeah.
it's almost like I was more aware of certain things that are fears and are kind of like, I was able to bring them more to the surface.
Yeah.
Rather than now, when I almost like have my day's mask back on, I feel
Yeah.
comfortable and I feel fine, but that was so powerful to kind of like, oh, I didn't realize they were all so close to each
Yeah.
other.
Yes, exactly.
So why did it almost have an opposite effect in making me feel kind of more uncomfortable? Like, well, there's all that
Oh,
going
good
on.
point. Really good. So the safe place is there to hold your ability to know those things. So it doesn't mean that in hypnosis things like that don't come up. You know, certainly people can not re-experience, because we'd always make it separate, trauma, and that's how we heal it. You know, we come to it from a different place, but the fact that that was right beneath the surface and your conscious mind didn't know, those things were running your life without even being aware of them. That's scary, right? That's scarier than seeing them. Because then when we see them, we're like, get in the fire! You know what I mean? Like, what are you doing here? And sometimes it's that simple. Yeah, that's the same thing that happened for me. My first hypnosis session, they hadn't even gotten me to the safe place and I was crying hysterically. There's so much stress in my body. And sometimes we just have to relax a little bit to be able to actually release it. Because you're right, we put a face on. We don't just all go walking around crying all day, like letting go. Well, I kind of do now. I'm also a Pisces. It doesn't help. But yeah, it's just beneath the surface. We don't even have to dig very deep. So it's perfectly normal and actually natural and really healthy. And the fact that you know that now, you can do something about it, and you've already begun the process. Yeah.
Grace, I haven't seen what you do on Periscope yet.
Yeah.
But my son's friend, he's under 30, he had a stroke recently, and he was paralyzed, and he's working through it, so he's getting some movement back.
Yeah.
Would what you do on Periscope be something that he could tune into and do
Yeah.
exercises with it?
Definitely. Yeah. So every day at 12 p.m. Pacific, I do a hypnoscope. Yeah.
What day is it?
Do you mind if I actually give this back to you in the stand? Would that be okay? There's still 100 people here. And if they have amazing questions, you can let me know. But if you guys want to keep hanging, I'll hang. But I'm already getting tired here. So I love you guys. I'm going to hand you back over here. Thanks.
What day did you say at what time?
Every day, Friday, 12 p.m. Pacific. Yeah, it used to be 12 p.m. Eastern. I can't even think at 9 a.m., so this is really impressive for me. So I had to change it to 12 p.m. Pacific when I moved out here. But it's great. Yeah, we have an amazing community. They named us Gray Space. I asked for suggestions in our community. Yeah, right. Suggested Gray Space, and it's amazing. And then we have a Facebook group as well. So kind of after our daily hypnoscopes, people will go in there and share their experience or ask questions. And I don't know if anybody there from Gray Space remembers when I started it, but I think the group is only like 2 months old, and we have over 1,000 people in it.
That's amazing.
So it's growing really fast. Yeah.
That is awesome.
And I would love for him to tune in. Yeah.
It's an amazing guy.
Yeah. And really it's about the visualization process. So I would be happy to even do normally the hypnoscopes are kind of about what we did here, increasing confidence, stress relief, improving your day, like just in terms of feeling more joy, things like that. But I could do a titled, very specific, unique for quit smoking, or even, working through recovery of paralysis, things like that, which I wouldn't do at 12 p.m. because it wouldn't apply to our community.
Right.
But I could do that an hour later,
Right.
and the 10 people that would benefit from that, it could change their whole life. And I'm not saying what happened with my father-in-law is common, but if it happened once, it could happen again.
Oh yeah, and he's so determined. He's working all the time, and he's made huge gains. Like they're so impressed with him, but he's so young.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, for sure. That'd be really wonderful to see him in there. Yeah.
I have a quick question, and thank you for doing that. I know this is so powerful. I've heard it before. Thank you. But is it true that I heard about the theta state?
Yeah.
Is it true that it's also easy to get into that state by looking up?
Yes.
With your eyes closed and like closing your eyes and trying to look
Yeah.
from the top of your head like into the sky?
Very
Is
good.
that
I
true?
almost did that with you guys, but I realized you were already probably so tired we didn't need it.
When you relax,
But this
you
is why I love that you bring that up. So in hypnosis, the whole swinging watch thing. The reason for that is because when your eyes become tired, it's one of the fastest ways for your bodies to relax and become tired as well, kind of. Just relax. And so they would do that thing because your eyes become tired very quickly. It was like, and then you just relax. But a very simple way to do that is this. And that's why those of us who work in front of computers could be exhausted by 3 p.m., even though we haven't been, chopping wood. It's because the light from the screen is making our eyes tired, thereby making the rest of us tired. So if, for example, someone coming off the streets from Manhattan, I would have them do that a few times in the induction. That your eyes are closed, and then you're looking up at the ceiling, and your eyelids are so nice and tired they just want to close. And then there's something called fractionation, which is this really fascinating phenomenon where when you relax using hypnosis or meditation, and then you come out of it, and then you go back in, you go twice as deep. And then you come back out and you go twice as deep. So if I have someone come to me and they're like, I'm type A, my brain is a steel trap door, I don't think this is going to work for me. I'm like, just close your eyes. That's why my hashtag is close your eyes, get free. Because to me this is about freedom. That when we're living with habits and beliefs that don't serve us, we're not free. And that's not okay with me. That's a human rights issue. And also, because so many times when my clients walked in, I just wanted to be like, just close your eyes, let's not even talk about it. It's just going to work, So I kind of combine the two, and it's close your eyes, get free. And it all begins in the mind.
And it's scientifically proven.
Yeah.
Scientists have proven that this is the fatal condition. That's why you lash in your eye.
Yeah, my eyes go
It's like
nuts when I'm in hypnosis now.
Yeah, the rapid eye movement.
Right.
When you are just about to emerge from sleep, or like you're in bed and you're almost consciously waking up or going to bed.
So when I'm in hypnosis, I look like this the entire time.
Yeah.
It's kind of looks possessed, so it doesn't help with the whole hypnosis is normal, But I've had clients who do the same thing, and it is very normal. It's the rapid eye movement that we have when we're sleeping. Some people, their eyes more stay closed, and their eyes kind of move around. But everyone can be hypnotized. Everybody of average intelligence or higher can be hypnotized. So everybody, pretty much, maybe 2% of the population would have difficulty, and that would be because there's actually a chemical imbalance or something where the brain isn't functioning properly, where it wouldn't work. But just like anything, you know, there are some people who are just born athletes, but anybody could practice basketball for 8 hours a day and become great. Or like, you know, Michael Phelps has webbed feet, so he's going to be a really great swimmer. I think I was just born to be good at hypnosis and to be very easily induced, which is why it only took me one session to never crave a cigarette again. So I think that's why my eyes are a little bit intense. But I've had clients who do the same thing I do and have no clue, and I'll mention it after the fact, just to see if they're aware of it, and they'll say, no, that didn't happen. And I'll say, do you want me to film it? You know, like if they come back and of them were really comfortable, and they're like, sure. So the first 2 minutes, I'll just take a little video, and their eyes are going like this, and they're completely unaware. But it's good for them to know, because they might see someone else doing that and think, oh, that's bizarre, but they were doing it themselves. It's actually a very natural process, yeah. And we do it while we sleep. Any questions from the scopers?
Not yet so far.
They're just having a party all together.
Yeah.
Very quick one. Does it help with ADHD?
Absolutely.
My 7-year-old is ADHD.
Yeah, not only does it help,
Medications.
because really the first benefit is to become more calm and focused. And it becomes a habit over time. It's compounded. But because children under the age of 7 are pure theta brain, I love working with kids. Oh my goodness, they absorb it so fast. And at first, you know, when I was first starting out, when I would work with children in the session, they'd be like, you know, like moving all around and squiggling and squirming, and I'm like, this isn't working. How do I get them to hold still? You know? And then a week later, they'd come back with their parents, and their parents would give me a huge hug and be like, I don't know what you did, but we have our little girl back, you know? And it's because they're in hypnosis now. So really, you can just make it a fun game. And it's really powerful, really, really powerful. And if they're squiggling around, they're still working.
I do have a question from a viewer. I didn't catch their name, but their question is, what do you do with clients who are afraid and say that they're never going to come back?
Oh, I've never had that. Yeah. I've had clients who say they're terrified beforehand, and I'm so impressed by them, because I think everybody's always a little nervous the first time, even if they believe what I'm saying about it being natural. We've been so conditioned to think it's unnatural by the media that I think everybody's usually a little nervous. But I had this one woman she was in tears before we got started. She was shaking, but she's just like, I'm at my wit's end. I just need something, and you come so highly recommended that I just want to do this. And she was in a chair that had a slight rock to it, and we had to actually do the session on the floor because she was so nervous. She was shaking the chair. And she was the most nervous I ever had, and it probably worked more powerfully for her that day than most people, because she had, like, if you're a normally relaxed person and you go into hypnosis, it's not that different from your waking state. But if you're like that a lot of the time, you just relax a little bit, and it's a massive improvement. So she saw like 60% improvement after one session, which is phenomenal, and she did come back. So I've never had anyone after a session say they were afraid, I don't think. Yeah, but it's a good question. Yeah. I'll give you the statistic just so you guys know. There was a study done by Alfred Barrios, who was a psychologist, and then it was reprinted later in American Health magazine, that 600 sessions of psychoanalysis resulted in 38% improvement in their clients. Okay? And 6 sessions of hypnotherapy resulted in 93% improvement.
Yeah.
So, you know, the average is 6 sessions to see 93% improvement, which is almost nothing. And yet, you know, people have this. It's usually like, I don't believe in hypnosis, or they think one session should change every problem in their life forever, which is unrealistic. So it's kind of like, you know, just be in it. I offer either a 90-minute breakthrough session or 3-month coaching. Those are my options. And the 90-minute is really for people who are like, I really want to do this, but I'm not sure it'll work for me. And it will. But I understand only offering 3 months is like a bit much for people to take that leap. But then that's the only other thing I offer, because that's 12 sessions. That means there's at least 2 areas we're going to get 6 sessions in on, and you're going to walk out of here a different person. Hi, do you need the room?
No.
Oh, okay. And that's why I did that. It was intentional. I call it the difference between a root issue and a limb issue. A limb issue is something like smoking or overeating, and a root issue is something like lack of self-worth or lack of self-love. And there's so many hypnotherapists who can help you with the limbs if you want, and they'll let you buy session by session. And I, at this point in my career, I'm interested in healing the root. And I found that 3 months or 12 sessions, 1 a week, is the tipping point where we finally start healing the roots.
I have another question from a viewer. She wants to know, she wants to start hypnosis, and she wants to know what's the best, if she should do guided or self-hypnosis.
Guided. Yeah. Self-hypnosis is phenomenal, and I have a YouTube video that can teach you how to do it, making your own affirmations. But most people naturally, if they were going to make their most affirmations, would say something like, I'm no longer afraid of overeating. And all the subconscious is hearing is fear and eating. Fear and eating. And you have to be very intentional with your wording. And so I would not go and start doing it on your own without some research. But since I do this for free every day online anyway, like just come hang out with me. And then on my YouTube channel, which is the same, Grace Smith TV, it's my video with the most amount of views, so it's easy to find. You just sort by views. I think it has like 30,000 views now. And I teach self-hypnosis, and I tell you exactly how to make your affirmations, so that we don't have people being like, I'll never eat chocolate again, and the subconscious removes the word never. I eat chocolate again and again and again, you know what I mean? So it's a really good question, but, or you can always go work with a hypnotherapist too. That's gonna obviously be the largest investment. So I would say hypnotherapist is most effective, then group hypnosis online, and self-hypnosis once you feel prepared for that.
Thank you so much.
You're so welcome.
Yeah, that's great.
Wonderful.
Awesome.
Have you ever tried flotation therapy for deep breath relaxation?
Is that in the water?
Like the float pods?
I've had clients who love it. I haven't done it. No.
I've done something that I liked even better.
Really?
And I can't remember. It starts with a W, like wa something, and you're in a like a pool that is that temperature water that you don't feel the temperature. It's so perfect. And they start with your head
Oh, wow.
and just kind of like glide you and swirl you through the water. They cradle you, so you're completely relaxed in their arms.
It's amazing.
Isn't that amazing? And then after you get used to that, after a session or two, they put earplugs and a nose plug on you, and they teach you signals so they can bring you under the water and kind of like move you around like this. It's extraordinary. I mean, it's amazing.
Wow. My friend
And you
Bex
feel
did that.
completely like surrendered to them.
The float therapy was cool because it was 90 minutes and sensory deprivation, so like completely dark. And you float without effort, which is like anti-gravity, which you've never felt before. And like things came back to me, like my favorite lyrics from the song when I was in 6th grade that I used to like I tried at first to remember them, and then by the end of the 90 minutes they were like just going through my head. You know, I was like one of those.
That's cool.
So, and then for 3 weeks I walked around like I was floating on a cloud.
Oh, that's so cool.
Which is very cool.
Oh, I'm definitely gonna give that a try. That's very cool. So those lyrics that came up to you,
Yeah.
they're really important to you.
Really?
Yeah, so I would like write them on a post-it and stick them to your computer or something.
Okay.
Yeah, and a lot of people say to me, what's a quick fix for feeling happier if I just want to change my state? And I would say, what was your favorite thing as a child? You know, what did you love the most? Even if you just think about that. Like, this is very bizarre, but we had a pool, and my favorite thing was saving frogs and salamanders and like making habitats for them and then talking to them all day. Very normal child. And so if I just think about like hanging out with like the little frogs I saved, and then when I would set them free, and I'd feel like there's less chlorine in their body because I made them their habitat, that makes me so happy. And it takes 2 seconds because memories are stored in our body at the age that they happen. So it's not my 29-year-old self being like, frogs, you know, it's my 7-year-old self being like, I'm saving this song, you know, I love him so much, you know, and it can change you in a second. So if those lyrics came up for you during that very healing experience, they're very powerful for you. I would post them all over the place. Yeah.
That's neat.
Yeah.
Or listen to the song even.
Right. Pump up playlist.
Yeah.
Is it a pump up song?
It's like I guess a little empowering, But definitely like my 7th grade favorite artist, like.
Yeah.
Like something I play for you all.
Is that Avril Lavigne? I did a little meetup with the Grace Space Peeps yesterday, my first live meetup. It was so cool. And a remix of an Ace of Base song came on, and I was like, wow! You know, like, brought me right back. It wasn't even them. It was just the lyrics, you know, and I was like 12 at camp trying to be cool again, you know. It's amazing. Music is so powerful that way, yeah. To bring us right back.
Gotta go.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks for really driving an hour to be here at the Sounds.
I so believe in that stuff, mindset, meditation, yoga, Reiki, all that. It's changed my life.
Yeah.
Definitely powerful. And not enough, I mean, obviously look at this room, not enough people know or use it.
Yeah.
And it is a game changer.
Yeah.
Shauna just gave me this crystal before this class. It was with me through this. How should I keep it and
What
use it?
kind is it?
It's for the sacral chakra.
Oh, amazing. Really good. So it's charged now
I
with the
charged it.
energy from today? Oh, you did beforehand?
Yeah, I
Perfect.
charged it too. Yeah.
I would, since it's for the sacral, I like to kind of keep them where they go, you know, so I would maybe think back pocket.
So, yeah, because your sacral's like right here.
Yeah, that's like probably the closest you could get to it, you know.
Okay.
Yeah, or actually, since you have a pocket right there
Right.
with your hoodie, that's cool. But you can, you know, like sleep with it under the pillow even. Yeah, just keep it around you.
Yeah.
That's cool. Yeah, I put this one on intentionally so it would.
I love it. I keep looking at it.
Yeah.
So did you get it off the internet somewhere or in a special
This is so
store?
cool. I'm happy that I'm able to tell you guys. My friend Amber Sky is a singer, and she did like an Indiegogo or something. And I wanted to support her, and this was one of the gifts. And it came the day I got here. So I was like, oh, this is for this.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, if anybody wants to spray themselves with some of this cool essential oil stuff before you go, it'd be a cool way to seal it in if you like it. Yeah, feel free. You can knock yourselves out. Do you guys know Anita Wingley from Global Meditation Scope? She gave that to me as a present. We drove
This-
over here
this
together.
one?
Yeah, this spray one. I love it all over, and then I love the back of my neck too.
Lemon, so it should be a different scent.
Yeah, it's like frequency.
We like walk out, there's like this mist following us.
Yeah, exactly. We're all levitating out the room, and they're like, "Oh, I should have gone."
Yeah, Grace did this to us.
We're in Grace space.
Yeah.
And I would love for you guys to stay in touch with me. You know, come onto Scope and let me know you're here, or come into the Facebook group, because every day you're going to feel more confident. It has a compounding effect over time. So in 2 or 3 days, you're really going to notice it. You're going to be like, wow, I feel more empowered than ever before. And I'd love for you to reach out to me and let me know how that's playing out for you. It makes me happy.
Thank you so much for doing this.
Yes, you're so welcome. Thank you so much for being our tripod. Wow, so great scope. Thanks, guys. Thank you so much. I'm gonna go now. I gotta go get some coffee. But thanks for hanging out. There's so many of you here. It makes me so happy. I'll scope again later today, and if you guys really enjoy this, make sure today's Sunday, so I'll be doing this tomorrow at noon Pacific Standard Time. Okay? Love you. Ciao, ciao, beijos.